Hey guys, Lord here, back in with another action figure review, and today we'll be concluding my looks at the Marvel Legends Nemesis Build-A-Figure wave with, of course, the Build-A-Figure himself, Nemesis, or Holocaust, or Genocide, or insert your favorite 80s thrash metal song title here, because today we're looking at my favorite figure of the wave, and it should not be any surprise to anyone that the giant armored flaming skeleton guy with a gun arm is Overlord Productions' favorite figure out of this wave. I mean, it screams Overlord Production, doesn't it? Doesn't it? That said, this of course is brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro, and before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get to the meat and taters of this review and take a look, see it all Nemesis has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with an alternate fist hand. Funny, he's actually got 3 fingers and a thumb instead of 4 fingers. And then we also have his dome, which I will show you how to attach later because it isn't difficult, but it is a little tricky to get on all this stuff on. So taking a closer look at Nemesis, let's just unplug this tuber from, I guess, the back, so we can look at the articulation, because first and foremost, his head is on a little ball joint there. I did put a little soap on that so it moves a little smoother than it did fresh out of the box, but it does rotate side to side, look up and down. It's got some tilt, and it does have a hinged jaw, which is a little tricky to close with this kind of respirator piece in the front, but it is doable. You just gotta really get the right angle, and it's not easy, like whatsoever. It is incredibly difficult to get that jaw to close. Why isn't it closing? Alright, there you go. Now it's closed. I will say there was some schmutz on the side of my Nemesis's head, but I managed to chip that off for the most part. I think there might be a little tiny teat there, but it's whatever at this point. I'm gonna leave that sideways just so the jaw doesn't pop open. That said, the shoulders pop out to the side, nice tight ratchet there. It will rotate forward and back. His pauldrons are keyed, well, not keyed, but they are pegged into the torso. He's got a bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, which is tight as hell on both sides. That's right, the gun arm actually has a double jointed elbow. I was pleasantly surprised. He's got a swivel hinge wrist. As far as torso goes, it will crunch barely at all forward, but it will crunch back a decent amount. I'm surprised it doesn't move forward at all, but it does rotate here, so you can find the tight spot and leave it like that. He does have a little bit of tilt side to side, but fairly limited in the torso. Hips will kick out to the side, not that far, back down, forward, back. Thigh cut, nice and tight. Double jointed knee, nice and tight. Ball hinge ankle, rotation, hinge, and pivot with a peg hole at the bottom of each foot in case you need to throw him on a stand. But he's a pretty chunky monkey, shouldn't have that problem. But boy, oh boy, I love this figure. It's almost worth buying this crap wave to build. Yeah, this wave kind of sucked, I'm not gonna lie. I know everyone's excited for X-Men all the time, but I'm not. I'm a Spider-Man guy. I'm a Ghost Rider guy. You guys know me by now. You should know what I like. And X-Men has never been at the top of the list. It just hasn't. It's okay. Like, I love my Jim Lee stuff, but outside of like crazy awesome characters like Nemesis here, or whatever you want to call him, he's got like 6 freaking names, depending on which one you're looking at. Almost feels like this is keyed. What's going on here? Yeah, that tube is not the best to try and fit in there. I feel like it fits, and then it doesn't, and then it fits, and then it doesn't. It's very strange. But, outside of cool-looking characters like Nemesis here, there's not a lot of X-Men rugs that do it for me. But Nemesis always has. I always thought he had a cool design. I always wanted the older Baff, and I've managed to come across some pieces, but never a full, complete one for a decent price. So that is that. But that said, why don't we turn his head back, and we will attempt to attach the dome. So popping this kind of respirator piece up is the first thing you want to do. Maybe easier said than done. Especially when it starts bending your nails back. Ugh, God. But there you go. It's a lot easier to move his head without that, by the way. And you just untab it on one side. And you bring in the dome. Line it up. Bring this down, snap that in, and there you go, ready to rock. Looking pretty awesome. I love this figure. This is figure of the year, possibly, and I might have to put him up there with Venom Pool and Blackheart and Dormammu as one of my favorite Build-A-Figures. I also like Sauron, the crazy pterodactyl guy there, and Monster Venom. So if I ever get around to doing a top 10 Build-A-Figures, he's definitely going to be on the list. So with that being said, it is time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old, or in this case, not so good old because he's a badass, Nemesis, alongside a couple of the figures from this very wave that I actually decided to hold on to. We have the Age of Apocalypse Gambit and the X-Force Nightcrawler. So getting the two of them out of the way. So you're absolutely dwarfed by this Nemesis Build-A-Figure here. We also have Fabian Cortez. And surprisingly enough, Marrow, who just barely survived the purge because, well, she kind of sucks if you saw my review of her. But as you can see, Nemesis is just a force of nature. He is massive compared to these standard size figures, so getting them out of the way. Especially this insignificant hashtag not my marrow. So we can bring in our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibilith and the infamous 11th Spawn, who's definitely not towering over everyone today because while good old Al Simmons is not a 6-inch scale figure, he is not a, 8 to 9 inch Build-A-Figure either, so there's that. So that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from the fact that you gotta buy a pretty lackluster wave to put them together, yeah, I'm gonna say that good old Nemesis, Genocide, Holocaust, whatever your favorite thrash metal song from the 80s is well worth it because he is freaking awesome. I absolutely love this Build-A-Figure. It should be no surprise that I like the giant armored flaming skeleton guy with a gun arm. That's metal AF if I ever saw it, and I am very happy to finally have this character amidst my Marvel Legends collection. He will be a powerful force of pure heavy metal evil amidst my X-Men display, and I have no problemos with that, sir or ma'am. We don't discriminate here. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.